busy last week. I couldn't make it, but
Yeah,
I believe my substitute teacher was up to the task. He taught you guys moving averages. And what have you learned? What have you learned that you didn't know, Edward?
honestly, it was indeed a great substitute. Craig came here and showed us the power that lies in the Wall Street sheet. Shared with us how practically, okay, these coins have been kind of repeating a particular pattern, and it was obvious that truly we need to pay attention to what you guys are saying. Thank you very much for getting Craig to join us last Monday.
It's a pleasure, buddy. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. He is loaded with wisdom, that guy.
Yes. Right.
So, what
So
are we going to learn this week?
yes, please go ahead, Craig. Yeah, sorry,
What
Rudo.
are we going to learn here, buddy? So where did we touch off? I showed you guys how I look at Bitcoin's analysis the last time I was on the call. And we were looking at Bitcoin coming down, and it went a little lower than I was expecting. So we went a little bit lower than we went to 42.9, I think, on the futures. And currently we are tracking up. So we made our first higher high, we made a higher low, and currently we're kind of in the middle of a wave progression to see if we can beat that higher high to know that we're good. We can keep on going. So that being said, I think maybe today I must teach you guys, while you've now learned and looked at all these skills that we've been teaching, to show you guys how supply and demand works, and maybe dive into that a little bit deeper. So, who of you guys have been on the previous supply and demand webinar, where I looked at where I explained to you guys how trading is like a big football field where everybody's in, and once one guy buys a big amount, the ripple waves, ripple through the market, and the more knowledgeable traders will position themselves quicker with that bleeding ripple than the guys that's FOMOing in on it. So let's just quickly see in the chat who of you guys were able to attend that webinar where we looked at all those different ways that you can use supply and demand. So I'm just over to the chat, guys. Just maybe give me a yes if you attended it, or no. Let's quickly see where everybody's at. There's about 51 people on this call, and I would love to hear from you guys. Let's see, the chat is normally a little bit delayed. There's the first one. Dominic said no. A lot of no's, 3 no's at the moment. Let's see. Come on, guys. Let's get those chats in. Let's see where you guys at.
Rudo, are you currently sharing your
We've
screen?
got. I'm gonna start sharing now, buddy.
Okay.
I still haven't purchased a new video camera, so I apologize for not being able to switch on the camera. Mine fell and broke, so it's making horrible colors and looking weird. Let me show you there. I don't know. Hey, it seems to be corrected itself, so I'll quickly set that up. Time heals. Okay, right, guys. So I see I've got an overwhelmingly no response here, and a few yeses. So would the yeses be fine with us doing that again, making sure everybody understands this? Let me know, those that said yes, whether we can go through that again. And then I'm going to start. You're about 13 minutes into the hour, and there we go. So let's get cracking. Let me get into a coin. Somebody pick an obscure coin that's got a lot of data. The reason why I'm saying this is I don't want anybody saying that I understand and I know the coin, because it's going to look like I'm cheating the market. But I want you guys to give me a coin that's obscure, that's got a lot of data, and something you think that I won't know, because this is the trick. I want to show you a couple of tricks in the markets. Today we're going to do some shortcuts, and we're going to be hacking the market ever so slightly. So first one with the ticket there. What is that? VOINK. Does it have a lot of history? I need a lot of history though, eh? So let's move over to my, not this chart. Let's move over to this chart over here. I'm going to just get a new chart open to do this. No, need a coin where you know I'm not going to watch it. So like Link and those I know by heart by now. Let me just get a new coin, open in a new tab. So there we go. VET, Ethereum, Dodge is all popular coins, guys. So I'm going to go and look at this Thor coin, and I'll look at Phantoms. I know that thing by heart. And then that VOINK, I don't know that one. So let's see. VET Curve, all those guys, I know them too well. Theta, it's going to be like cheating. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start screen sharing. Everybody can see my screen. Edward, let me know there, buddy.
Yes, can see your screen.
Awesome. And I'm just going to quickly open the chat so that I can see the chats while I talk. Okay, T-Fuel, there's NPXS. Okay, so let's start with the top one. Just want some nice history, and then I want to show you guys exactly how this works. Okay, cool. VIONK, that was the first one. I don't know that. Doesn't seem to exist. Maybe it's a misspell. So let's leave that one. Phantom Link Thor coin. I don't know that one. CHO. Thor chain, maybe. That might be the case. It's on FTX. So let's see how old this is. Let's quickly go to Thor chain. It's not here. It seems to be that I've got this thing on my list here, so I must just see where it is. Let's use another one. NPXS. NPXS. We can do it to Bitcoin, or do you guys want to see it on, let's use USDT, but it works on everything. Bittrex. Bittrex is big enough, I reckon. Not a lot of history. We seem to be good there. It started at 2019. And we've made insane gains on this one. So if you own that one, congratulations, Angelo, because I think you should be very happy with that coin. Okay, so there's Femi says he cannot hear, guys. So yeah, check on your end. Let's just quick see. Okay, cool. Right, supply and demand. Now, I explained to you guys, supply and demand works like a pool, like a big football field or a soccer or football pitch. And I'm just going to quickly touch on it. I'm not going to spend too much time. Edward, you do have the recordings available of all the previous other lessons.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what we can do is, guys, to just refer back on the history on exactly that lesson, you can go onto the Facebook, Edward. I reckon it should be there.
Yeah.
Or get contact with you or anybody so that you can give them the recording of it. So what I'm going to ask, guys, please don't draw on the screen. I'm going to leave it to me. So I5, you draw, I'm going to remove you because this is definitely not the idea. So let's quickly get that.
Sorry, who is writing the screen? That's
It's I5. So do you
I.
mind just
Okay.
removing him
Yeah.
or that person?
I'll
I
put
don't
it back.
know. And just put them in the waiting room. Otherwise, I'm gonna put them in the waiting room and just leave them there. Okay, cool. And I'm just gonna clear those drawings.
Sorry
Get
about
my
that.
drawing tools. No, it's still writing here. Waiting room. Don't admit them, huh? Remove. I'm gonna remove them. Okay, cool. All right. Now let's start. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody thought it was funny. Right, let's get cracking. So I'm just going to quickly go onto this. So there's the football field, and I'm not going to spend too much time on details, but think about this football field full of a sea, with a sea full of people. So thousands and thousands of people standing in this field, all over the whole field, okay? Which means if you're standing somewhere in here in this field and a whale starts buying a big amount of whatever coin, it's going to spread. The news is going to spread like a ripple effect through the wave, through this whole football field until it gets to you. And that's normally when the public starts FOMOing in, which means that whale then has got all this wave of people buying after him. And then once it reaches him, the whale starts selling again. So you're still seeing the news that it's good to buy, and this whale is starting to sell. So now the sell news is coming, but you're going to be late to respond to that again. So by the time you see that, hey, I should have sold, you're normally in drawdown. And that's how the market works. That's that continuation of that same wave over and over and over again. And the waves and the whales, they have that same issue against them as well. So that is the theory I want you guys to use at the back of your head. And please go and watch the old recording if you're uncertain and you want a little bit more information that we have to apply when we look at supply and demand zones. So, firstly, a supply and a demand zone is actually an area where a large institutional entity or demand, a large amount of demand or a large amount of supply enters the market, which means thereafter normally a big shockwave of people FOMOing in on the buys. So where would you think would that be? If you look at this chart, you can argue that in this area here, we had a large entity, a large buying interest, and then people FOMO in on behind it, and then they start buying, and then this buyer over here that bought up this candle, you can see, look at all that volume normally uses this wave to start selling, getting out of the position. And that's how they take profit on you guys. Is you need to be mindful of that. That's why the theory is never chase the market. Don't chase it, fib retrace it. That's probably going to be your motto for the week. So Edward, maybe write that down there. Never chase it, or fib retrace it so that we can get good entries and
All
you
right.
don't end up chasing it. So that being said, and just take a sip of water. Um, so what we can do is we can then dive into this market and find those zones even better. And how are we gonna do it? What's the easiest way to do that? It's to literally study the volume. I want to ask you guys one question quickly, and I want you guys to be honest with it. Um, and I'm going to start with an angle, but please bear with me and humor my questions. So who of you guys that's on this call, and how many is it? 73 people. Who of you guys on this call have got trading buddies, people that you know, that's friends or acquaintances that's in the trading market? Give me a one. I don't want to. I don't need to know anyone. But if you're not alone in trading, you've got a social buddy or friend or somebody you know. Give me a one. So let's quickly see how many of you guys have got friends that trade with you. So it's currently just Edward, Femi. We've got Stallone coming in here. Anybody else? Okay. Edward, I want to ask you if you can unmute yourself there, buddy.
Yeah.
And out of those people that are giving me ones now, how many of them do you know?
Okay. I think I know about three.
Three of them.
Uh,
Okay. So, what is how many times in your trading career have you phoned those three people and asked them to buy Bitcoin at exactly the same time you're going to buy Bitcoin?
never.
Never. Okay, that's the thing. So I always say, walkie talkies. I don't know if there's a different term for it in your country, but it's like a two-way radio or,
Yeah.
one of those radios the police normally uses
Yes.
and so forth. So we don't trade with those type of devices connecting us, or even modern devices, which means we don't all go online, vote whether we're going to buy the coin, and then unanimously go and buy the coin at the same time. So how is it then possible that big, large volume candles like these form? Think about it. You've got a candle now, and I'm just going to move this up and bring this back down. what happened that in that day so much buying happened? How does that happen? By accident? Or don't you think that that's orchestrated? And I'm going to answer the question. It's orchestrated because this is the public. The public's messy. So when you get one strong, decisive candle with one strong, decisive volume bar below it, that is your cue to know that you're in that football field and somewhere a large player decided to get into the market. Now, studying the volume and anything that happens in that candle is going to give you all the clues that you would ever need to know how and what you should be doing to trade this coin. Because what you want to do is you don't want to, this is the first wave, there you had the second wave. And the easiest way to maybe explain the waves is to use a tool that I use a lot of times, and it's called the GAN. Now, GAN works on time and space. So a GAN box typically would look something like this. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to layer it in a way so that I can show you guys the fib circle. So normally what GAN does is GAN is a channel through space and time. So you're looking for large dumps, large pumps on the time analysis to give you an idea of, and please guys, don't use what I'm doing now as a way to use the tool. I'm merely going to just use it as a demonstration. Um, so there we go. But now that I've got my GAN parameter, this is where the fib circles come into play. So what normally happens is news starts spreading, they get in, they start spreading better and so forth. And typically once you have a decent analysis done with these fib circles, what you would get is something that looks like this. I'm just going to quickly look for a chart here amongst all my screens that's got a nice circle happening at the moment. Just give me 1 second. Neo. I reckon Neo is going to be good. Let's quickly see. Yes, there's Neo. So I'm just going to bring Neo over. Okay, so everybody can see my Neo chart there, and I'm just going to remove all this information. So when we look at this, and I'm going to go over to the 4 hour, and I'm going to zoom out. And typically, this is how the GAN circles work. Maybe I must use a different Bitcoin chart because I've spent hours preparing this chart. And this is probably the best one to use as an example. So what I've done is over here is I've layered out my GAN boxes. And these are the fib targets. So there's the buy, and price starts spreading out through these fib zones. And when you have these zones, you can see how price sort of hugs the fib circle, gets above it, tests it, moves to the next one's probably going to hug the next one, fall back down, and so forth. So the fib circles are very powerful, powerful tools that we will on a future time also spend a little bit and teach you how to use them. But they're very powerful to see how the market works. The market tends to want to rally parabolically. So this being said, just want to move this chart back here and get back to the NXPS chart. So I'm going to just delete this. I think I've looked at the point. So the idea is that news is going to spread. So now that we've identified these candles, these large volume bars, now we can go back and we can go look at history and look at areas where we had those big volume bars. Why do we want to do this now? Because now, if I want to start trading this coin, and there's a lot of sideways there, but within that, I believe if we can maybe flip into the hourly, we're going to get a lot of volatility. So we'll be able to trade that. Let's see. Sure, it's very flat. Let's use this area over here. So we're able to trade that using the supply and demand zones effectively. Okay, so this being said, let's start zooming in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rewind, replay to this area over here. So past September, it's flat. So then we're going to stop doing this. So I'm just going to zoom in on this area over here. This is not a very nice 1 hour candle Guys, I'm going to swap this for something a little bit more volume. These areas means it's hours where there was literally no trading within this coin. So I'm not too happy with this coin. As an example, let's have a look at Reef. I saw Reef there. Reef looks good. There's a lot of volume there. Okay, cool. So let's go daily. Let's rewind all the way to the starting point. There's a starting point over there. Let's get that replay bar in. I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to flip into the 1 hour. So looking at Reef. Okay. There we go. So now we've got Reef here. Supply and demand. So the idea is now we want to start spotting the whales. How are we going to do that? Remember what was the first thing? Edward, maybe you can write it there in the chat. What's the first thing we want to look at for the big volume? Because that is going to give us the indication where there's large institutional interest. Public tends to trade here in the middle. So if I can mark it out on a drawing here, this is normally us. We trade there. That would be institutions. Then we would trade here, and that would be institutions again. Because remember, these guys work with million times the money that we have. So they move markets, and they need to plan a bit better. So when you got these big volumes, this would all be institutional entries over here, and this would be us. Okay. Now, supply and demand means we want to work from an institutional entry to a probable next institutional entry, wherever that's going to be. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark out our first demand zone. And I'm going to first just do it and then let it run. And then as it starts playing out, we'll start trading it. So I'm going to explain to you guys what I mean by that. So I'm going to make this my demand zone over here. Well, let's just delete this. I don't want to see that. I'm going to make this my demand zone. And I'll explain to you on a later stage exactly where this, how we know that that's a demand. And over there, I'll make that my supply zone. Now, you guys have heard the quote, higher highs, lower highs, and higher lows to notify that whether we're going to be going up. Everybody should know that by now. Am I correct? Edward, you're familiar with that, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to use these basic ones. It can get really technical, but I'm just going to work with this for now. And then we'll play it as it goes. Okay, so looking at this, who's in control of the market, guys? The bulls or the bears? And I don't want you to look at the fact that price is going down. How many supply zones versus demand zones do we have at the moment? Way more supply zones. So who's in control?
The ways.
Okay, the bears. The bears are in control. They are able to push price down. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to buy. Because when there's blood in the streets, we need to buy. And how do we know when to buy? I want to see a higher high, which means I need to start losing supply zones. Price needs to first break a supply zone, come back, and then leave a demand intact. Simple. There's a demand. Price needs to break the supply that's sitting over here and then come back and give me the higher high that I've got now and the higher low. Simple. So you can talk about break of structure. Yes, you can look at trend lines and all those things, but people draw those lines in merely and they replicate something that they heard or saw, but they don't quite understand what it means when we draw these trend lines sometimes. And I find this a lot. Where people think that, okay, now it's drawn in, I'm right, I'm good to go. But this is the inside on the news. Let me just see what's happening over here. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a call here. Okay, there's more drawings on my screen here. Edward, maybe set up the Zoom next time so that only I can draw. Do you mind?
All right. I'll do that.
Okay, so we look at these trend lines and see how much time we've got. We still got at least a half an hour, so we're good. So we look at these trend lines, and I'm just going to flip to mouse, and I'm going to draw this in there. Okay, so when we break the trend, we normally say, hey, there we go. We break structure, we're going to go up. But you need to remember That breaking of that trend doesn't mean anything. There is a breaking of the trend, but we're not going up. Because what are we doing? We are making more supply zones and we're losing demand zones. I have not had one higher high yet. So this specific coin, I bought a little bit there, I bought more there, and I'm probably going to buy even more here at the bottom. I'm investing in this thing for probably 10x, which means this $4 is going to probably turn into a $40. There's my take profits on this investment. So there's a little inside trade for you guys as well. And it's in a quite decent buy area. Doesn't mean it's the bottom. We don't try and predict, we only analyze. Okay, but that's the idea. Now I've applied that same theory to this area over here. So there's a supply, so I'm tracking this thing down. So what do I want to see? Before we can buy, I want to see this demand, this supply zone broken. Now we wait. We need to be patient. So now let's let time do its thing. So there we broke trend. But until we, and I'm just going to pause it there. Do you see there, Zeno? We broke structure, we broke that trend, but we didn't go and break the supply zone. And that is why prices then going to keep going down. So we need to break that first. Now, if you look at this demand area at the bottom, once that wick falls below that bottom there, this demand is broken, it's deleted. Then I know I can't be anywhere. So anything in this blue box after this candle can be considered a buy. So I can buy this. But if it breaks past that area there, I have to be out. That's a stop for me. So in theory, the way that I would trade that, that would be my stop limit. So let's play. Can you see how scary those candles were looking? But it did not go below that box. That is telling you that demand is really trying to take control over here. Still doesn't mean we've got a guaranteed winner here. So let's play some more candles. Coming back down. Now let's see. Pause. I'm going to pause it here. What we did now is, as we got above it, we made a high there, we came down, we made another high there, we came down, but we started to move back out of that demand zone. And we have now broken this. So this would have been a supply zone over here. Small one there. And we had a supply zone over there. Okay. And then once we went through that, we went through these two supplies. So we got our higher high now. I can delete them. And now what do I want to do? I want to come look for a buy entry, which means I can now go and say, right, my buy is going to be somewhere in this area over here. Okay. Let's let it play. Now, I went a little candle too far, but I believe we might get another wick. So bear with me. I tried to stop it and it kept on printing candles. So please bear with me, you guys. Okay, so now let's see. It's staying right there. There I've got my buy. Now what do I want to see? I'm going to pause it over here. I got my buy. We're in. Right. Let's get a little dollar sign there. Where's the dollar sign? You see the dollar sign there? There we go. Boom. There's my buy. Okay. Now, what do I want to see? I've got my buy. There's a supply zone. What should be your worry now? You got this buy here. This whole structure needs to break that high. And now the new one, it needs to break this high over here. If it does not break that high and comes back into my entry, don't let it run in drawdown. Okay. Which means take the trade. You're risk free at the moment, but don't turn it into a loser. You don't need to hold it. Okay. So let's go and have a look. Let's just put the stop limit line in there. Not that one. That's the higher high line. And I can put my stop limit. I can still put my stop limit there, but if I'm on a future or I'm aggressive trading, I'll have it right there at my entry, because then I know I'm still in a buy box. I can come buy it a little bit lower. Okay, so now I've got my first buy. I'm not in profit yet. Let's play this thing. Oops. Wait. Stop the bus. Okay. This trade went all the way through my buy box. Okay. But this is my demand zone. We didn't make a higher high out of my buy box, which is my first worry. Okay. And then look at what it did. It came all the way right back. So now remember, when we have these trades and you don't get the higher high, start taking your profit. That's why I say with this one, I would have been stopped out of break even. Now, this being said, this buy zone, let's just move it in there, for me is still active. Because if I dive into a smaller time frame, and we're going to study even more demand zones, this is the bearish structure. This is the candle that drove us through. And what we'll do is I normally use a little flip trick over here. And if it seems a bit too fast, go through the recordings, guys. You'll definitely enjoy this 50% long-term fib. And that would be my buy, and that would be my stop limit for that one. So that's my second buy now. So now I've got my second buy. I'm still in a problem. I need to get past this high over here in order for me to say that we're definitely going to go back on. So I bought back in, got stopped out, break even, trying again. Now I'm trying again over here at the bottom on that line there. Now, this is the thing about trading that everybody doesn't, that most people don't think. They think if you're a professional trader, you're going to get it right first time every time. And it means that a lot of times we have to probe the market until we get the good buys. Okay. So now that is now my new buy. Let's see. Stop limit. Where do I want my stop limit? I can have my stop limit below the wick of that candle, because if it goes there, this is definitely going to be invalidating my analysis. Now let's go. Let's let this thing run. Let's see what happens. So we are making a higher high, which is good. Let's see what happens. And now you wait. This is the thing about patience. So now we're going all the way down, testing our demand zone, not making any higher high. So this is already a worrying area, but we need to start engulfing this now. Now look what's happening. Let's see. As this thing is playing out, oh, we got stopped out. Pause. Where's my pause button? There we go. Okay, guys. So we've taken how many trades now? We've got one trade at break even. And we've got the second trade is currently stop limit, stopped out. Okay. Which means what? I'm not going to clear the drawings, just going to leave it there. Which means at this stage, we're down. We're not in profit. But this demand zone has not been broken yet. Now, what we need to do is need to see how we can get another entry, because we got stopped out of this area. But it doesn't mean that the low, we have not made a lower low yet. So we're going to have to probe this area until we make a lower low here. Then we stop trying. That's why you have to take small little risk areas. So let's look at this. I'm going to just narrow this demand zone down to this area over here, because there's a very strong demand zone sitting right there. And now I'm going to use that zone as my buy, and I'm going to use that zone over there as my stop limit. Let's see what our third trade is going to give us. Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. So we wicked into it once. We didn't make a higher high. Came back again into it. Didn't make a higher high. And now we're going into for the third time. So at this stage, every time I'm out there and it starts turning back and I'm losing this support level over here, I'm looking at taking the partials and I'll buy back in the buy zone, because it seems to me like it's working itself out. But I want to see this wick in here, and I want to see it delete at least this supply zone over here. This is a very important supply zone for me. Okay. So let's let it run. And if we lose that line, it's going to be really bad. So it's very important that we do it. So now price is narrowing itself. Let's see who's going to win. You see there we got stopped out again. Okay, let's pause this. Third trade. Okay, let's go. So we got stopped out again there, but beneath that. So this demand zone is no longer in check over here. So this is now going to be the demand zone we have to work off. Okay. So we're in that demand zone. I wouldn't have bought that dip over there. So now what I would want to see is, I want to see us delete this supply zone and come back down before I buy again. Okay. So now we're sitting on our hands again. So we're down about 6% on our portfolio, and now we're waiting. Let's see if it wants to break that supply zone. Now, this is the boring part about trading. A lot of the time, we're just sitting on our hands doing nothing. You can see how, there we go. It's broken. Great stuff. Now, let's flip into the hourly. We can go into larger time frames, and let's play this out now. Let's see where we're going to go. I'm going to just pause it over there. I just want to do that before we get back to this area. Okay. Now we've got our first demand zone that's sticking, and we've now tested it. So let's see what it's going to do, because this area would be my buy. And the reason why I would buy that is if I'm looking at this on the 4 hour, and I'm going to want to try and get a larger analysis going. So I look at this on the 4, this is the bearish area. This is the candle that drove me past. So the bottom of this candle would have been my buy. So at this stage, still not a very comfortable area to be in. So I believe we're still going to go down, because this high over here have yet not broken this larger analysis for me. So let's play some more candles. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to get, and there we go. We're going down. So I'm waiting for more information. So this is not our position. Now, if you think about this, I'm just going to pause it over there. We've lost 3% 2 times now on this trade, trying to get an entry. But look at the amount of, because we've been disciplined, since we've lost our second percentage and we didn't FOMO in, prices fell with another 30%. So you've got 6% less dollars, but you've got 30% discount on the price. So in theory, even if you didn't, if this happened, and this is what happens on a lot of times, buying over here, do I have more coins or less for the 6% that I've lost? And I will have more coins. So this is important stuff, guys, because if you want to try and play predict, please go do something else, because you cannot and you will not ever be able to predict what everybody that's currently active in the market is thinking or trying to do or accomplishing. That will never happen. So the key to this is to say that I don't know what's going to happen next, but my analysis tells me this is where I have to buy. And I can tell you, the supply and demand zone has got probably about a 70% accuracy rate. Now we've taken all our losses probably in the beginning, and which means at some stage we're going to be hitting the buys every time. So let's let this run. We are at 30% discount on coins. So we're going to be buying a bigger position for our same amount of money. But have I got a higher high? So where did we get a supply? There we've got another big supply zone over there. And I'm just going to speed these things up and say, well, we've got a big one over there as well. So there we consolidated, but I want to see us now go lower and break at least this high or that high over there. So those are my two options before I can think about entering again. So let's play this. Okay, let's pause it over there. Let's see what happens. So what did I ask you guys? What did I say I want to see? I want to see supply zones deleted before I can re-enter. So have we deleted some supply zones now? Now, one thing that you shouldn't do, shouldn't chase the pump, because what's going to happen once we've deleted these supply zones? That one's deleted, that one's deleted. This is my new high. This is now where I want to focus my attention on my next, when I get to my next entry. Now, this is the bearish structure that engulfed the market. This is the bullish structure that broke through. Okay, where's the candle that broke us through this one? It's this candle over here. So I'll have a buy sitting at this level over here, stop limit sitting over there. So let's just quickly undo these lines. And let's mark it out. So this is a 4-hour analysis. And what I would normally do is I'll flip to the 1 hour to make sure I get my entries just adjusted a little bit better. So there's the bearish structure. Boom, boom, boom. There's the candle that took me past it. So that's going to be my buy. Going to use that candle. That's going to be my buy. And my stop is going to be sitting at this area over here. So let's move my stop up there. There's my stop right there. Going to delete that. And that's going to be my buy zone. We made our higher high. So it looks like we are getting at near the bottom. Does not guarantee it just yet. Let's play. So sure. This one's already ran past. So we had, let's just pause it over there. And then obviously you'll have a lot more time to do this, guys. So please bear with me. But we went there twice already. But I was hoping for a third one to touch that line. But that is the buy area. And now what we've done is we've made a new higher high. So we're going to do exactly the same. But this time, I'm going to use this area over here as my buy. I'm going to add to my position. So I've already got my first buy. Now I'm adding to my position. Before we do that, let's just go back one step and say that this is now our fourth entry. We could have taken that one. You could have taken that one, and you could have taken that one. But I'll use this one because we went back, we made a higher high, we came back to that line, and then we went back up. So I'm just going to backspace them away. So number 4, we've got an entry now. So how much percentage have we lost on our way down? Edward, you might want to comment there. How much did we lose? We lost 3% there and another 3% there. So let's just quickly see over here. From that buy line there to where we're at now, that's a 72% gain. Okay. And that's what traders do. This is what we do. Okay. So I've lost 6% waiting to get these entries. Keep on playing. And then when I got it in, how much gains do I have?
72.
Currently 72%. And we're not even close to done with this one yet. Okay. Edward, maybe just say something. I just want to see if I can turn up my volume.
I can hear you. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. So now, where do I want to add? I want to add into this area over here. Because I know that what does price do? It always fills the balance. So that would be my buy area there. So I'm just going to try and slow down because I want to, it almost feels like cheating if I say it afterwards, but I need to catch the thing before it goes. So we made a higher high there. Pause. Let's just pause it over there. We made a higher high there. So even if I've missed this whole move and I missed buying there, there's my demand zone sitting right over there. Okay. And I can pull it all the way down. And that would be my next entry. I would enter on the test of that demand zone because we made a higher high. Price is moving up. This line I'll move up to over there. Now I've got my buy. So if this thing comes back down and it doesn't break that line, I have to get out of my position. I can't sit on it because it's probably going to then try and attack my demand zone. Okay. So I've got my buy in there. My stop limit for that entry would be below that wick over there. And let's see how this one plays out. So firstly, I'm just going to pause it there. We have not made a higher high yet. There's a bullish candle. And this bearish structure that we've got here, if this thing engulfs this low over here, I'm taking my profit. Okay, let's play. Okay, pause. So we engulfed this area over there. So over there, I would have taken my profit, which meant I would have bought there and I would have sold there. It's not an ideal trade. Okay. There I would have bought, there I would have sold. I still got this position over here, guys. Remember now, we had this, we added there. We are trying to add. We keep adding. We're trading on confirmations. Every time I'm right, I'm gaining some yardage on this. And looking back through time, you'll see that, yeah, you make a lot of money doing it this way. So over there, I would have started taking this position. I would have killed this position. Take that profit, say thank you. Okay. Now we're sitting down at the bottom. Now there's imbalance sitting over there. We'll look at that and we are filling that imbalance. But what have we not done? We have not made a higher high. So without a higher high, that imbalance is not worth trading for me at the moment. Okay, I'm just going to undo this. So we're down 6% and we're up. Let's just make it a 70%. Let's go. Oh, undo. I don't want to do that. Okay. So let's go. So I can buy this imbalance over here. And let's see if this trade is going to take. So this one, I took profit over there and I've been adding on 2 positions. Let's see if that one takes. Play. There's a low, low. Pause. There's all the information I would need to know that that's not a good area. Now, I've got this whole entire position, guys, that is currently in what? If this thing starts moving and losing this level, the gains and the profit that the position that I took over here, I'll start closing that position. Why? Because I don't want to give back my 70%, which is probably at this stage down to about 35%. So let's talk realistic here and say, let's scratch that down. And let's say we've got about 35% with our stop limit. So we've got about 29% gains. And we're only in what, 4 or 5 days with trading this specific coin. Okay, so let's just get back my mouse. Let's press play. So now what are we doing? Pause. I want to see us engulf this area over here before I look to buy again. There we go. We've engulfed that area. Pause, pause, pause. Where's my pause? Where's my pause? Okay. So we've engulfed this area over here because this is a bearish structure. This is a wave, and there's another wave. We've engulfed this one. Boom. Made a higher high. So now I can come back and buy again. So now I'm buying again in this area over here. Now what is important? This drive needs to break this high, and I want to get above that high in order for me to know that I'm good. So let's play it. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's the high. We've got it there. Let's pause this. Pause, 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 pause. Okay, so now we've got that buy there. Now what do I want to do? So let's quickly just measure this again. So there's another 38%. Okay, so let's add another 38% here. So we've got 2 losses of 3%, and we've got 2 wins of 38%. Now, this is a long work, hard work. You guys see how much we have to wait. We don't just pull our lines and say, okay, right, buy here. But look at these gains that we've made on this coin live, paper trading with you guys. Okay, so let's quickly run a few more scenarios, and then I think we're pretty much done for today. Next week, we'll touch on this and even further. So there's the higher high. Just pause this. There's going to be my buy zone over there. There it failed. Let's pause that one. That one failed, but you still got this position. So this position over here, you would have stopped out, but you still hold this position. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Didn't make a higher high on this one, guys. Pause. That's bad. If we don't make a higher high, what's price going to do? It's going to keep on forcing this. And if we lose this demand zone that I originally had, which actually is now going to sit like this. If we lose this demand zone, I have to take some profit. So let's see what it does. There's a higher high, a little bit of good news. So with that in check there, I can look at buying 50% of this candle over here. So if we get to this line over here, anything on that line, see how many times it goes to that line there. Anything on that line is a buy. Okay, let's zoom out again. Let's play this. Boom. What do I want to see now? I need to see this high deleted, or else this analysis will never work. Has it deleted it? Not yet. As soon as we start making lower lows, I'm out. Doom. I'm out. Okay. What do I need to do? Pause. Okay. There was our low. There was our second low. I'm out. I take the profit. And what do? I go play the same analysis again. I buy it again. There we got our final higher high. So now I've got this position. I've got this position. Now let's see what happens. I need to break this position. That's bad.
Yeah.
Pause. Okay. So we didn't go and break that position. So this one ran into break even. And the fact that we lost this area over here would mean that the buy that I had over here, I would take profit on that. Kill it. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. So on this one, made 27%. So we made a 38, a 33, a 29, a 38, and a 27%. Okay. And we've had a lot of stop outs at break evens because we'll stab it. And we had a lot of intermediate trading. So, guys, this seems like a hard work. Do you guys agree with me?
True.
Okay. So trading and making money is not a quick, rich scheme, but there's ways to make it easier for you guys. And that's to stop meddling in these smaller time frames and look at this on the daily. Because on the daily, things are way slower. What have we done on the daily? We had a low, okay?
Yes.
And we at this stage only progressing up, which means on the daily, this is going to do this at some stage. And I'm going to buy it there for the long term swing.
Mm.
Let's just quickly play it and see where we end up. Oh, well, that went horribly wrong against me. Let's give it some time. Um, and that's all the candles we've got left. So there's still a lot of time for this thing to move into this area over here. But that's trading for you. So you're going to stab at it on a lot of times, and people get tired. So they don't do this as many times. They give up. So you end up only taking two losers, and the third time you walk away. That's when you have the winning trade. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly read through some of the questions, see if I can quickly answer them, and then Edward, we'll do this again next week.
All right.
Okay, so not being paced. They backed by logic and science trading. Yes, alone. We're teaching you guys how we fish. Not every cast, every fisherman takes means that he's going to pull out the big trophy winner.
Mm.
Sometimes you have to be happy with the small ones because the big one's going to come on its way. Okay. Sometimes you don't get any bites. Okay. So let's see and then see what parameters are key info guys and how when the zones are drawn. Femi, we'll touch on this on the next webinar. Remember, guys, the frustration that I sit with is these are skills that took me months and years to obtain, and to
Mm.
try and compact them into 1 hour is a little tough. So we've got a foundation, and then as these lessons progress, we'll use this foundation to start fine tuning smaller things to get you in. So be patient, work with me, be on these calls every Monday, and it's through time you're going to start acquiring these skills. I promise you that. Okay, and then I've got a last comment here. When you attended to Node Academy courses, these explanations become clearer. Yes, I'm
True.
very chased for
True.
time, and you will gradually be gathering skills that will pay you 100,000x literally that you probably make now. Be sure to purchase. Okay, thanks for the nice marketing pitch there, Stallone. And yeah, this is probably a good idea to show you guys. We were on Master Trades a few months ago, and this is one of my nice ones. And I've got my alert setting there. I want to try and sell some more. And we bought chilies over here, specifically playing that same analysis, buying these areas, getting stopped out. I mean, I bought chilies over here, get out over there. But that one's the one that stuck. It never came back. Remember, you're going to keep at it until you get the one that sticks. And from that one, I'm up 700%, one coin. And this is in not a lot of days, guys. So this is the power that trading has for you and can give you. You just need to be patient enough to work it. And just as a last little tip for you guys at the moment, we are looking at Link. I'm currently big in Link. Pink line is where all my futures and margin entries are kind of situated. So if it goes there, I'm at break even. These are my alerts set out, praying the same analysis, guys. I'm buying the demand, and buying the breakout of that area on the 50% of this candle. So it's going to come probably back down and test this area at a break even for me at some stage. But then I would want to see us get a higher high. And as I'm trading this, I'm constantly tracking the volume. I want to see big volume. I want to see this move up. So this is me analyzing and playing this same analysis over and over and over again. Zol, same thing there. There's my pink line for today. There's the first higher level. There's the next one we need to break. You can see my alerts already in place. That's how we trade it. Waiting now. Now I'm just sitting and waiting. I'm not looking at my bank balance thinking that I'm a hero, because it does not mean that this is going to work. First, need to get that higher high, and then I have to come and see where I can add to my position. Because if I build my position on the way up to this line here, I can take good profit over there to come right back and probably buy this pink line again in a few weeks' time before we then really start going crazy with this coin. Okay, so I'm not expecting the trophy winning fish here. I'm looking at small fish and taking them so I can feed my family in the meanwhile, so that I can get that trophy fish over here that's going to take me to the moon. Right, guys, that's all that I have time for, and I think Edward has time for. Um, let's do this next week, same time. Get your friends. Let's get them educated. Go and watch the recordings. Edward has them available for you guys,
Yeah.
and understand that this is definitely something that can be taught. Does not need any talent, but the reality is you just need to have the commitment to sit through these lessons and get the work done. And then the market becomes your own personal ATM, guys. Right, Edward, any closing remarks from you?
Yes, very well. Thank you very much, Rudo. We want to say kudos to you, Rudo. All right. Just imagine, folks, if we could get all of these in 1 hour from Rudo. Trust me, a lot awaits you if you can connect with Rudo and 3 other master trade guys every day. Okay, 9 a.m. GMT +1 for about 8 hours, Monday through Friday. Friends, you will need to connect with them. All right. So when you do, one thing can only happen. You will start trading like the machine. Now, we can tell. We saw Rudo taking emotions out of trading, Just learn the skill, follow it, and the next thing, profit start coming. Yes, it's not going to be easy, but one thing is certain: if you are committed to it, profit is sure to come your way. All right. So on your screen, we'll have the $1,000 package that you can go for right now. All you need to do is get to the marketplace. After getting yourself registered, go to the marketplace and buy the master trade that would have gone for $1,500, now going for only $1,000 for a year. Hey, wait a minute. In addition to that, you have the academy, talking about the beginner's course, intermediate and advanced, that would have cost you $700, all given to you for free. Okay, so you may want to quickly grab this and get in touch with Rudo and 3 others who are sure pioneering the master trade. So let's do this again next Monday. But don't forget, it's very important that you quickly get into the marketplace, get in touch, the person invited you here, and start taking profit. Until you come your way again, my name is Edward Iberasi, representing Satoshi Africa, as we always be here to bring you money dance. Bye for now, and keep imparting lives. God bless.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Rudo.
Cheers, Edward. Have a lovely evening, guys. Good night.
Right, bye.
Powerful, powerful.
Thank you very much. Oh,
Huge.
I see Lois on the call. Lois, you're welcome.
They'll be praised.
All right. Bye, everyone. Peace.